Mark Crossfield here, helping you get an idea of what a golf driver could do for your game. Let's talk about the head, some of the characteristics of the head that might help you or hinder you when coming to buy your golf driver. So golf drivers, there's lots out there, isn't there? Lots of companies producing lots of models at quite a frequent pace. And it can be a little bit of a minefield for lots of people because the marketing often will talk about, they'll wax lyrical about amazing innovations and changes and developments. But what really will it mean to you? So let's talk about some basic makeups of a club. So golf clubs will get measured on one of the things people measure them in still in, which is slightly strange, is their CC, so their capacity, the head size. Lots of people think of that. So I was speaking to quite a few club manufacturers recently actually, and they're starting to really move away from advertising 460 as a thing, because I've seen clubs that are 440 in their CC present down by the ball at quite a big shape, because you could have 440 or 460 head shape presenting through that little tee head. If this tee just went further back and back and back and back, it could still be 460 cc. When I look down at this tee, it's still going to look very small compared to, say, looking down at that driver. So I wouldn't read too much into head size, but countering that, think of 460 as the largest they're allowed to go cc. Often a 460 will present down by the ball, bit stretched back, look friendlier. It'll give you that appearance. Now, MOI differences over 460 to 440 can be quite small in measured difference. Again, it's going to be very much on those feel-based things. So I wouldn't read too much into size. Then you got things like center of gravity, CG placements. You can have lower spin, higher spinning models, subject to where that CG is. Higher MOI, lower MOI models, depending where the center of gravity is. So for most golfers, to be honest, unless you really know what you're doing, you're looking for highest MOI you can get. So that's twisting of the club around two axes, so this way, this way. So when you hit a shot not on the effective sweet spot, so what you think is the middle, the club is going to move, you're going to lose ball speeds, it might even deviate the ball offline a little bit further. So the resistance to those twisting, the better for the average majority of golfers, unless you really know what you're after. Because what happens in club design, if you go for high MOI, often it needs stretch back head, CG's way off the face. You need to move the club in a way where the center of gravity just pulls away from the face as far as possible. But what happens then is you might gain spin. So people looking for low spin might have to sacrifice some MOI. With any golf club, unfortunately, it's like baking a cake. You can have different amounts of the ingredients, but everyone's using the same ingredients. So if you put more MOI in, you might lose a little bit of spin or gain spin. You might gain some extra revs of spin. So if you're looking to lose spin, so you don't want so much of the spin ingredient in, then you're going to have to put less of the MOI in as well. So it's, yeah, you got to be careful with going low MOIs, but you can do if you want to really home in on those low spins. So if we would imagine you get some drivers with tracks on, if I had a weight at the front here and I moved it to the back, it's going to increase the MOI. I'm going to pull the weight off the face. I'm going to move the center of gravity back, which means as I hit the ball, there'll be less twisting around, certainly this axis, this one a little bit, mainly this one. And that's going to help you with hopefully a little bit of stability. Next thing you want to look at as well, you've got changeable necks on drivers, which can change the lie, they can change the loft, often independent of each other. You want to work with a fitter to try and dial those in. I see people on the ranges mucking around with them, not really knowing what they're doing, and it worries me a little bit. Best for you to go with a fitter, get them to dial that neck in, and then keep it there, stick it there. And if you're going to change it, go back to your fitter and ask them to, and work with them, work in some launch characteristics of why you want to change it, and test it, see if it actually does work. So the changeable necks are great. I always see the changeable neck much more for me as the pro, the fitter, rather than you as the amateur. I think it's sold to you as the amateur, but it's something you should be working with much more with your professional. So head size, bigger the better in general, but it's going to make very small differences. MOI placements, so where these slidable weights, so this Big Bertha Alpha has weight chambers, I can move the weight higher and lower. Again, they're all things that you should be going for with your fitter. But the higher MOI you get on a driver, the better for most players. The more friendly it looks down by the ball, the better for most players. If you want those more specific kind of specialized clubs which are out there, or you need lower spins, go and see your fitters. There are clubs that do it, but we're talking, guys, I mean, the most spin I've seen change in the new Cobra driver, actually, 500 revs. I could move it 500 revs. Usually you're talking about 300 revs. It's a very small difference. Bear in mind, Strike can change it up to 2,000. They're absolutely kind of dialing in that smaller percent. You are always going to be offering the bigger percentage. Little overview there, hopefully gives you a few ideas of what to look for and what not. But the main moral really here is go and get fitted.